Hey everybody, and welcome back to some more fantasy football. Um, I wish you guys could see the setup I've got currently. It's a little bit weird. So usually I record all my videos at my desk and on my computer monitor and all that kind of thing. But I've been taking a bit of a break from recording videos recently because I had a bit of a backlog and I'm super busy at work right now. So any gaming I've been doing has just been kind of very casual, and I decided to hook my PC up to my television, my 4K TV, because it's bigger display and I can just chill and play some games like that. But I was like, oh well, I've got to record this, and I can't be bothered to rehook it up to my monitor, so I'm just going to record it like this. So I'm sat at a weird angle trying to record this video, and yeah, it's interesting anyway, to say the least. But I had to record this video. Sorry, I think I just hit my mic, but I had to record this video because we have had so much going on, haven't we? Really, we had a good weekend of football. Some not so surprising results, I guess, coming about, and we finally had the end of Mr. Mourinho at Man United. Something which I think we can all say we've seen coming. I don't think you have to be a football expert to have seen that one coming a mile off. Perhaps a little bit surprised that they did it now rather than at the end of the season, but I think they probably thought that everything was becoming too toxic. But we'll talk about Man United a lot, I'm sure, as we usually do. But let's just go through the points for the week. So I ended up on 68 for the week, which is a good result, I think. Average of 43, so that gets me a little bit back on track. I did use my bench boost because I just had this feeling that the guys I had on my bench would do all right. And like a lot of people say to me, Phil, you should have saved all this stuff for your double game weeks. Double game weeks, that's when you do it. But I had a bad experience of that last year and got nothing from it. And I just thought, just got to sometimes go with your gut instinct on it. So in goal we had Lloris, kept a clean sheet. Great. Van Dijk disappointingly did not keep a clean sheet, nor did Laporte, but Alderweireld did. And did he get an assist as well? Oh, he did. I didn't even know that. Sterling got a goal. I was super annoyed when he was not starting in Man City's match, but he came on and scored, so can't really complain too much about that, can I? Felipe Anderson, he has been in very good form recently. We've kind of spoken about him. Got an assist and a clean sheet, I think. No, got an assist. Yeah, assist and a clean sheet. Sorry, I'm misreading that. Richarlison didn't do anything. Shaqiri was my best player for the week. Again, super bummed that he didn't start the game. Comes on, super sub, scores 2 goals. Cannot ask for more than that, can you really? Massively disappointed with Aubameyang. The Arsenal result, I guess I said some expected results. I guess that was the real one that I don't think anyone saw coming. I certainly did not. Of course, never underestimate Arsenal's ability to just screw everything up. But yeah, that was a super surprise. I brought in Mitrovic. I brought in Mitrovic and Alderweireld because I knew Spurs would keep a clean sheet. I mean, that one was obvious, wasn't it? And I thought Fulham would get a goal. I did think they'd get a goal against West Ham. I thought West Ham were open enough, they might do that, but Fulham have been so abject that was a bad move. Annoyingly, the other person I considered was Hernandez, who did score for West Ham. So, but I thought 2 West Ham players in one team would be pushing my luck a little bit there. But there you go. Wilson, I think, was injured and came on late. Is that right? Yeah, he only played for 32 minutes. So I think he's good enough that you can kind of keep around. And then Wan-Bissaka, Trippier with their clean sheets on the bench. Jorginho not getting anything there. No clean sheet, no nothing. He's not very... Like, he plays every week, but he gets you 2 points every week, so what's the point? I went for Aubameyang as the captain. Obviously, super disappointed there. Arsenal, I don't know what the hell they were doing, but there you go. In the Plays Cup, I got the joint highest week here with James here, so well done. Probably didn't use your bench boost either, did you? So I guess that counts as a win for you. Oh, Captain Hazard. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, you went for Aubameyang as well. Mitrovic. Okay. Richarlison. Wan-Bissaka. Yeah. Sane. That's a good one. Jimenez. Jimenez was another one I considered as well instead of Mitrovic, but I'm an idiot. Yeah, decent week there, I guess, getting Captain Hazard. Um, and nothing on your bench, so yeah, good thing you didn't use your bench boost. Things I think are still pretty tight here. These can change. I think we all probably nearly 100 point lead there on second place from Vergard. That's pretty good. Solid week, 50 points, I guess. I'd say as long as you're kind of like averaging around about 5 to 10 points above the average, you're doing all right on there. So yeah. In terms of where that puts me, 3,784th in the Crystal Palace fans out of probably 4,000. Heading back down a little bit. I did go over 1 million, didn't I? I think so. Heading back down. My overall like target is under 500,000, but we'll see. Oh, and we had the cup. I completely forgot we had the cup. Yeah, so I beat the guy in the cup. He only got 34 points. Now we're going to play Doddy's boy 123, who he's not had that good a week, has he? We are technically, I guess, a little bit better than him, but can we have a look at what his team was? See who he's got. Okay. Hello. He must be a Crystal Palace fan. There's no way on earth anyone who's not a Crystal Palace fan would have that many Crystal Palace players. Okay, could be interesting. He's got a lot of injuries though, hasn't he? At the minute, so fancy my chances in the cup there. We'll see. So yeah, let's look at the games. Man City winning 3-1. I think I said last week, didn't I? Like, why are Man City not using Jesus? Like, they put Sterling up front last week. As it turns out, according to Jesus, he was struggling to, I don't know what the word would be, adapt to the country. Like his family, apparently they came over when he came into the country, and then they had to go back home to Brazil. This is like his mum, brothers, sisters, whatever. And now they're back, and apparently he feels a bit better, a bit settled. So that seems pretty ominous, as he scored 2 goals in that game. Really good finish, I think, for the first one. Really, really good finish. I think he's a really quality player. And it was interesting. I was listening to the radio, and a guy on there was saying that out of probably every single player in that Man City squad, he's the one player I think who Pep hasn't improved, which is interesting. I think that's probably completely fair to say, and that looks like it could be down to an issue where he just hasn't settled in. So maybe if he does, and the other thing is apparently as well with a lot of Brazilian players, they don't like not playing, and I guess like they like to be a bit more relaxed when they play. Know they're going to be starting week in, week out, so that they, if they have a bad game, they're not going to be straight out. But I guess if you've got Aguero biting at your heels, it's a difficult one to kind of cope with, I guess. So yeah, I think from a Man City point of view, they are thinking he is the successor to Aguero in the long run. Aguero, I think he's in his 30s now, potentially, or at least very late 20s. I wouldn't say he's not going to be there in a couple of seasons' time, but you could see Jesus start to overtake him if he continues, or if he does start improving, I guess, but not continues to improve. So we'll see how that goes. I think Sterling obviously coming on, scoring, good header. Don't often see Sterling score a header, do you? Yeah, it was interesting because Everton got it back to 2-1. I don't think Everton played badly. I think City are a very, very good quality side. Kevin De Bruyne's starting to come back a little bit now. When you look at City, they've had a lot of injuries, and they obviously lost to Chelsea. They still managed to put out a really good side every week, even though they have these injuries. But maybe now they lost to Chelsea, and that kind of unbeaten thing is out the window. Maybe that takes a little bit of pressure off you sometimes. Everyone's still saying that they're favourites for the league. I don't know offhand. I think I know everyone goes on about City, and they obviously play incredible football and they dominate opposition. Like, they absolutely dominate opposition. But I genuinely feel like Liverpool can go up a gear, and I think Man City are. I mean, Man City can go up a gear, but I think they're more like a finished article than Liverpool are a little bit. But we'll talk more about Liverpool in a bit anyway. So yeah, it's no disgrace to lose away to Man City, is it, from Everton's point of view? But I think they'll be disappointed with that third goal from Sterling. Crystal Palace won. Yay, amazing. Being a Crystal Palace fan is an utter roller coaster. Like, if you are a supporter of a side who mostly wins, say you're a top six supporter, or maybe from another country and you're a Barcelona, Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain, Juventus, like, you don't understand what it's like, you know. We obviously, when I say we, I'm obviously a Palace fan. We lost two on the trot after a decent win at Burnley. Terrible games. We're just. This was not a good game against Leicester. This was not a game where if it had been 0-0, I think we could have complained. But a little piece of magic from Luca in midfield, hitting that ball in. It was a really good goal as well, to be fair. That was the difference. I don't know about Leicester. As I say, they've had a funny season, and I think a mid-table finish for them would be fine. I think they'll be disappointed to lose that. They were a little bit objective. I think the one interesting thing I would say is that Palace changed their goalkeeper. So we played Guarita, who's we signed on a free in the summer. Very highly thought of goalkeeper. So it surprised me that this was his debut, like this far and halfway through the season nearly. We're just giving him his debut. But, I don't think Hennessy's a terrible goalkeeper. But one of the areas I felt we needed to address was the goalkeeper. We signed this guy, and then now we're just using him. I think Hennessy was either suspended or injured, one of the two, which is why he came in. Zaha was suspended. This ends that whole hoodoo of, can Palace win without Zaha? Of course they can. It's kind of ridiculous, but obviously, without a doubt, he is our best player, and we need him back and in form. We also had Tompkins out, suspended as well, who has been very good for us this season, but Martin Kelly came in and was absolutely superb. The thing I would say about Martin Kelly is you guys, a lot of you probably never even heard of this guy. We signed him from Liverpool, I think it was, a good few seasons back. And the thing about Martin Kelly is I feel a little bit sorry for him, because every single time I've seen him come in to the side, he's been phenomenal. Like, he seems to spend long periods on the subs bench, waiting for his chance. He comes in and then just puts in an incredible performance. And you're like, this guy is like the model professional, I've never heard anything about him sulking or anything like that, really. Just when he gets a game, he turns up, and he absolutely turns up. And as I say, I feel a bit sorry for him, because sometimes I feel like he should get more game time, because he has been superb every single time I've seen him drop in. And the only thing you can do, I guess, as a substitute when you come in is to do your best and try and impress, see what goes from there. So I'm very happy we won. It's not like we're safe, We're on 15 points, we're 3 points above the relegation zone, and we've got Man City up next. So clearly we're not going to be winning that one. But we've got Cardiff after that, and I don't know if we can come out of the Christmas period and into January, and maybe. We have to sign a striker in January. Like, we have to. I'm worried because I've seen us being linked with Britt Assombalonga, and I'm like, can we not do better than this? Like, no offence to Britt Assombalonga, but like, we are an established Premier League club now. We've been 5 seasons now, I think, in the Premier League. Can we not muster up 20 million for a striker here or something? Maybe that's how much Britt Assombalonga is going to cost. I don't know. I just feel like, why are we like? I don't know. I understand that we're not. We've only got a ground that holds 26,000. We're not making a lot of money on match days. We're not making a lot of money on shirt sponsorships, etc., etc. We're certainly no Man United, but can we not, like, we had some investment from some American owners, and we're supposed to be redeveloping one of our stands as well. But can we not muster up 20 million for a decent striker? I reckon we could get Martinez from Atlanta United for 20 million. I'm dying for us to sign that guy. Season's just finished. They won the league. He can move on. Job's a good one. What we need is a goal scorer, a poacher, just someone who's going to score a goal. Anyway, I'm banging on about Crystal Palace. Newcastle beat Huddersfield. Newcastle are flying right now, aren't they? Well, I mean, they're not, but they're doing a lot better than I think people expected them to. Like, they're 4 points above the relegation zone, and I don't think many people expected that, with essentially them spending minus money over the summer, as in selling players for more than they brought players in. Rafa Benitez, I mean, we all know what needs to happen there. Ashley needs to go. They need to bring in an owner who's going to back him. And I'm not saying they need to spend 500 million on players or something, but give him some money, for God's sake. More than minus money, you know. See what you can do, because I think most people, barring probably Middlesbrough, Sunderland fans, like Newcastle. Like, I think we can all appreciate they have this amazing fan base, turn up week in, week out, even when they're in the Championship, and they've had a nightmare owner who's just siphoning money out of the club. And I think I certainly have a soft spot for them, you know, and I'm like, I really want them to just get Zona, and I feel like with that support and that, I don't want to say brand because it feels like a bit fierce, but they do have this kind of like this aura about Newcastle United, you know. And you know, I still remember the days of Keegan being in charge, you know, and Tino Asprilla and David Ginola and players like that, and they were incredible then. I loved them then, and I'd love to see them. I don't know if they could get back to those days, but they're one of the teams who they have the potential, like, you know, with the right backing, they could push into that, you know, top 10, top 8, if you like, up there, you know, which Everton and West Ham and Watford are all around it. And then who knows from there. But with, you know, they're never going to get a better manager than Rafa Benitez. Never going to get a better manager than Rafa Benitez. So yeah, you feel like the time is now, you know, for them. Huddersfield, you know, 19th, 4 on the trot, lost. A lot of single goal, you know. Southampton will be a massive game for them. That was a massive game for them against Newcastle. You know, they were at home. You know, we'll say Solomon Rondon, I think is starting to fire now. He was another one I considered putting in as well, instead of fucking Mitrovic. Rondon's really starting to fire now. I think he's got, what, 4 or 5, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4 goals in his last, 6 games. Getting there, you know, from nothing, you know. And I always felt he was a decent striker. I was gutted when Palace didn't sign him. The 2 players I really want Palace to sign from relegated sides, Shaqiri and Rondon. Shaqiri, obviously, once Liverpool were interested, you know, we didn't stand a chance. But Rondon, I'm very disappointed we did not sign Rondon. That he would be doing brilliantly for us right now at Crystal Palace. So yeah, Huddersfield, I fear for Huddersfield without a doubt. But the January transfer window is only a couple of weeks away, so you never know. Spurs, late goal from Eriksen. 85th minute, not that late, I guess, I think. But yeah, lucky to beat Burnley in a way. You've got to kind of respect Spurs a bit, though, because it's not easy for them, the situation they're in. You know, they had a miraculous recovery in the Champions League. It really was miraculous. Like, that's the only word I can think of, because they were down and out, you know. And listen, they didn't beat Barcelona, but they acquitted themselves very well against Barcelona. And you can feel like if they can just sort this stadium out, if they can just back Pochettino with a bit more cash, they could be flying. This is the point, though, where I'm like, I don't understand football in a way, because there are so many people looking to invest in football. You have Spurs, who they're building this magnificent new stadium, okay, but they've got no money to spend on players. They have this fantastic manager in Pochettino, one of the best in the league. They have already a core of superb players, young superb players. Ali, Kane, Ericsson, Son. At the back, players like Trippier. They have the core of a champion, Premier League, even Champions League winning side. Like, they have that core, and you feel like if they just went and spent some money and got one or two more top quality players, like they could be challenging for the top there. They're only 6 points off the top. That's no one's been talking about them this season, and this is where you're like, where are those like foreign like investors? There to be like, I don't know. It feels weird to me. I know you shouldn't probably outstretch your means, and maybe you don't want to get other people involved in your club or whatever, but it does just seem to me like Tottenham would be a prime club to invest in right now, because you feel like they're only going up. But I don't know. We'll see. Burnley, on the other hand, kind of only feel like they're going down in a way. They obviously had that good win against Brighton. Man, they are just pretty insipid right now. They really just parked the bus against Spurs and didn't look like they were going to do anything. Yeah, if you said to me these three teams go down now, I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest at all. Watford beat Cardiff, although they were 3-0 up and Cardiff came back. They've got a lot of spirit, Cardiff. I like them a lot. Obviously, Warnock I like. I hope that they've got Man United next. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can read too much into that. Watford are they're the win or they lose. They had a bad run and that was a good game to win. They got West Ham next. That'll be a good game. Wolves beat Bournemouth. Bournemouth are in free fall right now, aren't they? In a way, they've lost a lot of games recently. They're that kind of like top six finish. European place is, I think, out the window now. I think they're just going to finish mid-table. Wolves, again, I think are just going to finish mid-table. I know they're up to 7th now, 3 wins on the trot, but I just get the feeling like they're just going to finish 9th, 8th, something like that. And that is a fantastic season, by the way, for them. Take nothing away. West Ham trouncing Fulham. Fulham need to invest in the transfer market. I don't think Ranieri was the right appointment for them. I think I said that at the time. Massive game coming up against Newcastle, because they've had some games where they've had some tough games. I mean, I know it's Man United, but it's not that much of a disgrace to lose away to Man United. Not much of a disgrace to lose away to Chelsea. West Ham at home, they really would have wanted to do better there. Obviously, I think they would have earmarked that as a draw at least. But there you go. West Ham are starting to fire now, so that's probably being a bit too kind to Fulham to say that. Chelsea beat Brighton. Hazard getting a bit back to his best, and really good win for Chelsea. I think obviously they've had a little bit of a wobble recently, a couple of losses. Obviously really good win against Man City, and then followed this up, and Leicester next, they're capable of winning. So I do think we're seeing a bit of a 2-horse race, but I do think that this is hotting up for 3rd, 4th and 5th. I do feel like that. So yeah. Southampton Arsenal. I cannot believe Southampton beat Arsenal. I cannot believe it. What? I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say to that. It's typical Arsenal, isn't it? You go on a 23 unbeaten run. You're away to Southampton, one of the worst sides in the league. Yes, they got a new manager. Yes, they've actually played very well. You should still be beating them. Jeez Louise, you let in 3 goals to Southampton, a team who have notoriously struggled to score. That is going to do the world of good for Southampton. Unfortunately, I say that as someone who supports a club, who is battling relegation, alongside them. We'll see how their new manager does. I feel like it was incredibly risky. I know he's got a great reputation in Germany, and he did some great things in Germany. But this is a relegation dogfight in the Premier League, and you're walking into it having it's tough. I mean, if they back him in January, he can get some good players in. I mean, I do feel like Southampton have got a decent squad. Like, I don't think on paper, when you look at them, they should be in the relegation battle, or they shouldn't get relegated, I should say. But they've got some strikers who can fire, and that helps. You can see that with Palace. I feel like if we had a good striker like Ings or Austin, we would be doing a lot better right now. But there we go. And Arsenal, well, I mean, we all know their defence is dodgy as hell, don't we? It's just the way it goes. So, what are you going to do, really? End of their unbeaten run. I mean, I think Arsenal just got to try and get top 4 this season. It's going to be super tough. If you imagine that Man City and Liverpool are probably nailed on first and second, then you've got Tottenham and Chelsea and Arsenal, I'd say, battling it out for third and fourth. I think Man United are too far off it now, even with what's gone on there. So that's super tough, because I think Chelsea and Tottenham are both better than Arsenal at the end of the day. So I think Arsenal could get Europa League again, to be completely honest. And games like that are not going to help at all. I feel like Arsenal could win Europa League. It's not like Unai Emery doesn't have experience of that, is it? He made it his own, I think, at Sevilla, didn't he? So you could see that happen, and it could be a way in. Could be their best way in, to be fair. Liverpool, Arsenal. I watched this game live, on telly, if you know what I mean. It was a very interesting game. Liverpool demolished Man United. Let's not even if you're a diehard Man United fan, you got your asses whooped in this game. I think everyone was very surprised when it became 1-1. I think once Liverpool scored, they looked dominant. I didn't see Man United come back into it. They had a few little chances. Lingard actually managed to put one away after a terrible mistake from Alisson, after everybody was praising him. And then it was all Liverpool again. I never for 1 second thought Man United would win the game. I thought it was just a case of, can they stop Liverpool from scoring to make it 2-1 or more? And a couple of deflections, and you can argue and say that's a bit unlucky, but Liverpool deserved that win without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt. Man United just looked awful. They looked awful. No Pogba again. I wonder how much that had to do with Mourinho getting sacked. So as we know, this morning, I'm recording this on Tuesday, Mourinho got fired. I don't know who's going to be taking over as caretaker yet. I think it said Carrick was going to be there for the next couple of days or something, and then they were going to bring in a caretaker. I'm just having a look on the BBC website to see if it's been announced yet. But yeah, I mean, just we all knew this was going to come, didn't we? It was just a question of when. It felt so sour. The whole thing, the whole situation was just so sour. Okay, there's talk of potentially Solskjaer taking over till the end of the season or something. The thing I don't understand is a lot of people have been saying about Zidane. It's well, Zidane's not working right now, so why wouldn't he just take over now instead of the end of the season? I think that's a weird one if that happens. But yeah, maybe we'll see Roberto Di Matteo and Solskjaer come in and win the Champions League with Man United. You never know. Without doubt, Man United have a bunch of talented players. There are some good players in there. They're just not playing, are they? They're just, for whatever reason, they don't seem to have the tactical grasp of what's going on, and they don't seem to have leaders out there. There's so many issues, just so many issues, and I don't necessarily feel like it's completely Mourinho's fault, but I do feel like a lot of it is his fault. People can talk and say he wasn't backed in the summer, for this defender he wanted, and I think he's been sulking ever since. But at the end of the day, you've spent 350 million and you don't even play half the players. Eric Bailly's just like peripheral figure. Lindelof's in and out, in and out. He's still playing half, most of the same side that was under Van Gaal or even Moyes. They're an embarrassment. When you look at the style of football Liverpool play, Man City play, Tottenham play, Chelsea can look great under Sarri this season as well. Even Arsenal are starting to get back a bit of a swagger. And then you look at Man United and they just look like they're from another era. They just look like they're just, I don't know. They look like a bad Italian team. Like, if you remember maybe like 7 or 8 years ago, like when Serie A was really just in the depths and just didn't really have anything going for it. And it was just like a really bad Italian team, but with worse players. At least Italian teams could defend. And it's weird, because they do have some good players there. They're not playing. And I mean, the thing with Pogba, I think, was the most interesting. Like, if you sign a player for 100 million and then you just bench him and you're not getting the best out of him, then as a manager you're going to go, like, you can't sign a player for that much and not get the best out of him. Like, it just, if you're a manager, like, you have to manage your players. You have to coach your players. You have to improve them. You look at Pep. Yes, he spent a lot of money, but barring Jesus, I'd say, for personal reasons there, he's improved every single one of those players. You look at Jurgen Klopp. He's brought in players like Robertson, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Sorry, he's those players look transformed. They look world class now. Pochettino, Dele Alli was signed for like 5 million from MK Dons. He looks like one of the best, the brightest young midfielders in the world right now. Kieran Trippier, I think he was at Burnley before he was there. Fantastic as a right back. There are so many examples. And then you look at Man United and you go, which player has Mourinho improved at Man United? The answer is none. Not one player is playing, better than they did before they signed for Man United, I feel. I think Martial has looked a shadow of himself this season. He's been in and out the side. Lukaku has just faded and faded. Rashford, I don't even know what they're doing with Rashford. Mata just doesn't seem to play. He's just Matic, isn't he, really? He's not inspirational or anything. Fellaini, you could argue Fellaini might have got a bit better, but, if you think about those Man United sides, those great Man United sides under Ferguson, or even before that, and then you think, where would Fellaini fit into a side like that? And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Fellaini's a bad footballer. What I'm saying is that he doesn't even fit. Like, Man United always used to have a swagger about them when they played. They would go there knowing they were the better team, going to win a game, and it was unacceptable not to win that game for them. I feel like now Man United have just lost so much of that aura, and, like, for whatever reason, their recruitment has been terrible, like, absolutely terrible. Ever since Ferguson left, they've just been awful in their recruitment. There's been panic buys. There's just been terrible buys. There's been overinflated prices. Buying back a player you let go for free for 100 million. Whatever you think of Pogba, like, that is not good business. That is not good business. And you just see other teams like Liverpool, finding little gems like Robertson. Shaqiri they picked up for 14 million or something like that on a thing, and then you look at Man United and go, yeah, you signed Alexis Sanchez for nothing, but you're paying him like 500,000 a week, and the guy is doing nothing. I actually forgot they even had Sanchez. Like, look at how much that guy has faded. Like, he wouldn't even get into like a West Ham team right now. The way he's playing, it's unbelievable. I've never seen a football team, I think, disintegrate like Man United have. And I'm talking about since Ferguson left. I know he had a massive massive effect on the club. But I feel like if David Moyes is in charge right now, they'd be doing better than what they are. Like, I, I think Moyes was on to hiding to nothing, because you could never replace Sir Alex Ferguson, and if you didn't win the league and Champions League probably in first season, you were screwed. Okay, but I feel like they would be in a better place right now if they had kept hold of David Moyes, and that is some damning thing, because I'm not a David Moyes fan, but he's not actually a terrible manager that some people think. He just looks very dour. But yeah, they've just been. They've had 3 different managers since Ferguson left. If you don't include, caretaker managers like Giggs, and it's just every single one of them has just spectacularly failed. Moyes, I don't even know what his philosophy was. He didn't really have one. Then they went, okay, we need a guy who's got philosophy. Van Gaal. Van Gaal's about possession. Didn't work. Just didn't work in the Premier League. His side was insipid and boring, and he had possession for possession's sake, unlike, say, a Liverpool or Man City, who are pretty dynamic with their possession. Then you're like, okay, we need a winner. Who's the winner? Mourinho, big name winner. The Mourinho we see now and the Mourinho we've seen at other clubs is not the same Mourinho. I've said before, he does well when he's the underdog. That's what he wants, not when he's at a big club like this. If he went somewhere like, ironically, if he came into like a Man United now, I think they'd almost be doing all right. But I feel like, when he's the underdog, like, not in a way he was the underdog of Porto. I know they were the best team in their league, but in the Champions League, they were the underdog. Inter Milan, they were the underdog. When they're the ones who perhaps are not expected. Then he went to Real Madrid, and they're expected to win all the games. Didn't really happen. It didn't do badly at Real Madrid, I would say. Comes to Chelsea, he's the underdog, does well. But then as soon as the expectation rises, the third season syndrome. There we are right now. It just all goes, it all flies, and in spectacular fashion. It's not just a case of like, oh, they're just losing games, so they fire the manager. It's like there's always arguments, there's always fallouts with people and players. There's just this mass kind of like, if I'm going down, I'm taking everyone with me kind of thing, and all the headlines are about Mourinho, and it's weird because I log onto the BBC website right now, and it's right there on the front page. And don't get me wrong, I know that Mourinho is a big manager, but there's important things going on in this world. But there's so much like interest in him and what he does that it just feels really. I don't even know. I'm glad he's gone. I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about the positives. I want to see Man United be able to challenge again. I'd like to see them. I don't think it's just a case of get rid of Mourinho, suddenly they're going to be good. I think there's terrible leadership going on at the club, higher up. And they need to get some things right. They need to get this appointment right. This is the fourth manager since Sir Alex left, and they need to get it right. They're still Man United. They're still one of the biggest clubs in the world, if not the biggest in terms of commercial activities, and they will continue to be so for a few years. But they've got to start winning some things. They've got to start playing better football. And there's going to be a hell of a clear out there, because I just can't see a manager being able to come in, and they just feel like they're missing so much there. They're just, it's terrible. It's terrible. But Liverpool doing really well. I'm really happy for Liverpool. I like them a lot. I want them to carry on. I'd love to see them win the league. I really would. I think Klopp is a great manager. And it would be nice to not let Man City get this monopoly that they're kind of threatening to do. So that'd be good. We'll see, I guess. Fixtures going to come in thick and fast now. We're starting to get into Christmas. You're going to have these over the weekend, and then midweek, and then weekend, then we're into January. I won't be able to probably do. I'll probably have to do a double up again because I'm working so much. I might be able to do something. I don't know. We'll see. Um, because I'm working so much, but I might have to do a double episode next time because I'm working every day till Christmas Eve. Then I'm traveling Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. Then I'm working Boxing Day. So yeah, it's fun. Cool. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think. Let me know who you think should replace Mourinho. I mean, I think Zidane's a bad mistake personally. I think they need to probably try and break the bank, get someone like a Pochettino or someone like that, or someone a little bit left field, just somebody who's got philosophy, somebody who's positive. Um, Listen, Eddie Howe, you could do worse than Eddie Howe. Yes, Man United, you could. I know that will never happen in a million years because they won't. He's not flashy enough or whatever. But they could do worse than him. Diego Simeone's been talked about a little bit. Again, I don't think his style of football would be good enough for them. Like he's a bit more pragmatic. They're a bit more dogs of war, and I don't think that suits Man United. I think Man United are looking at Liverpool and Man City and going, we want that. That's the brand of football we want. So I think they need to bring somebody in who's going to be able to do that. And most of those managers are already taken for good reason. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see, definitely. It's going to be interesting though. It's going to be so many names linked. I mean, Harry Redknapp's just come out of the jungle, so you never know. Um, you never know. Maybe they get Sir Alex back. I mean, they could do worse, couldn't they? Anyway, thank you guys for watching. As always, it's been my pleasure. He says as he reaches across his bed for his keyboard in this weird setup he's got. But till next time, thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye-bye.